There is a quiet tragedy playing out in millions of lives across the world. People wake up every day, look in the mirror, and see someone they do not recognize. Someone sculpted by expectations, obligations, fear, and the need to be accepted. Their lives are not theirs. They wear masks given to them by society, by parents, by employers, by partners, by culture. They walk through life as strangers to their own souls. Why does this happen? Because choosing yourself is hard. It is far easier to blend in than to stand out, to obey than to question, to survive than to truly live. And yet, every soul has a faint voice that whispers, "There's more than this. There's me." The Stoics, those weathered minds from ancient Rome and Greece, saw this dilemma clearly. They believed that the greatest tragedy is not death, but living someone else's life. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, wrote in his private journal, "It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live." In this essay, we will dive deep into what it means to choose yourself. We'll draw from the wisdom of Stoic thinkers, Epictetus, Seneca, Marcus Aurelius, and from the stories of real people who dared to break free. We'll explore why we abandon ourselves, how to stop doing it, and how to reclaim our lives one small act of courage at a time. You may not be a philosopher or a king, but you are the ruler of one thing, your mind, and that is enough to begin. Let's begin this journey, not to discover who you are, but to choose who you are. Verbrecher Part 1, The Illusion of External Approval. It starts early. A child draws a picture, not because they love to draw, but because they know it makes their parents smile. A teenager chooses a major not because it excites them, but because it sounds respectable. A grown man stays in a career that crushes his spirit because he believes walking away would make him a failure. This is the illusion of external approval, the idea that our worth must be validated by the applause of others. The Stoics knew this well. Epictetus, born a slave and later one of the most powerful voices in Stoic philosophy, taught, "If you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid." That's hard to hear in a world of Instagram filters and LinkedIn updates. But ask yourself, who are you performing for, and what does it cost you? Seneca, the Roman statesman and Stoic thinker, warned of a life wasted in pursuit of other people's dreams. So much of life is wasted by delusion, by blind passion, by sluggishness, by devotion to others. How little is left for yourself? Choosing yourself means letting go of this illusion. It means recognizing that the need for approval is a prison. No matter how much applause you collect, the hunger for it never ends. And it is never truly yours. The Stoics invite us to ask a terrifying but liberating question. What if no one claps? What if no one notices? Would I still choose this? To answer yes is to step the nature of your soul. To choose yourself, you must first understand yourself. This is not merely a journey of self-awareness, but of spiritual and philosophical clarity. You are not your impulses. You are not the noise of your emotions or the chaos of the world around you. You are something far deeper, a rational soul capable of perception, reflection, and wisdom. As the Stoics taught, we must distinguish between what is within our control and what is not. Your choices, your judgments, your responses, these are yours. They are the essence of your identity. Everything else, fortune, reputation, the actions of others, are external and thus irrelevant to your inner peace. To choose yourself is to claim responsibility for the soul you have been given. It is to prioritize your character over your comfort, your virtue over validation. As Epictetus reminds us, know first who you are, and then adorn yourself accordingly. False selves. We inhabit much of our suffering comes from trying to be someone else, someone more admired, more loved, more powerful. We chase illusions created by culture, comparison, and fear. We wear masks to fit in. We shrink or inflate ourselves depending on the room. But each compromise of our truth is a betrayal of the self. To choose yourself, you must reject these false identities. You are not your job title, your appearance, or your follower count. You're not your trauma, your past mistakes, or your parents' dreams. You're not even who others think you are. Every moment you act against your nature for approval, you lose a part of yourself. But each time you assert your truth, you return home. Choosing yourself is a daily practice. To choose yourself is not a single decision. It is a discipline. It's waking up every morning and deciding that your worth is not conditional. It's remembering in the middle of chaos that your peace does not depend on external order. It's the habit of reflection, honesty, and intentional living. You do this by asking, what would the best version of me do today? What truly matters? What am I afraid of, and is that fear rational or a relic of someone else's expectations? Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." This is the essence of choosing yourself, acting in alignment with your core values. Silencing the inner critic. One of the greatest enemies of the true self is the inner critic, the voice that says, "You're not enough." This voice was not born within you. It was installed over time by judgment, comparison, and rejection. To choose yourself, you must challenge this voice, not with ego, but with truth. You are enough, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. You are enough because your soul is worthy, capable, and resilient. Seneca reminds us that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. The inner critic thrives in the imagination, spinning stories of inadequacy and doom. Choose instead to believe in the quiet strength of your reason. You will be misunderstood. Accept it. Choosing yourself often means being misunderstood. When you stop pleasing others, some will accuse you of selfishness. When you follow your own path, some will say you're lost. When you speak truth, others may call you arrogant. This is the cost of authenticity. Do not let it deter you. The world doesn't need more copies. It needs people who are fully themselves. People rooted in truth. People brave enough to disappoint the crowd to honor the soul. Jesus said, "What good is it for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul?" Choosing yourself is choosing not to make that trade. And it all vanished. You can't get it back. We live as if we have forever, as if time is an endless ocean. But in reality, we hold an hourglass in our hands, and the sand is already falling. Suddenly, a thought hits you. Where is my life going? Why am I always waiting? Why do I let myself be buried in nothingness? Theme: time, the most precious resource. You can lose money and earn it back, lose possessions and replace them. But the second you just lived, it's gone forever. Seneca wrote, "People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy." Time is a currency you're spending every second. The question isn't whether you have enough, it's what you're spending it on. Story: family humiliation. A man, 28 years old. Since childhood, he heard from his father, "You're worthless. You're nothing. I worked hard. You're just a failure." He grew up with that pain. What did he do? He tried to prove himself all his life, worked like a mule, broke himself, not for himself, for his father, waiting for the day his father would say, "I'm proud of you." But that day never came, and it won't, because you're not meant to spend your life chasing the love of someone who doesn't know how to love. Stoicism teaches you don't control others' opinions, only yourself, only your time. So he left. He stopped being a shadow. He began a new chapter, not because his father changed, but guilt. Baktars tarser hatred will. He became the master of his life, dash of biblical wisdom. See then that you walk circumspectly, not as fools, but as wise, redeeming the time, because the days are evil. Ephesians 5:15-16. Every day can be a trap, hollow, toxic, false. A wise man treats each moment as a gift. A fool burns it all in vain. Story, toxic workplace. A woman, 34 years old, a solid job, stable income, but every morning feels like a prison. The team is rotten. The boss yells. Micromanagement chokes her. Everything inside screams, "Leave," but she stays, out of fear. The economy. What if I don't find better? Epictetus says, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. She stopped being afraid. She started searching, stopped waiting, found a job, not perfect, but clean. And now, each morning feels like a breath of air. Story, empty, waiting. A 21-year-old man fell deeply in love. She played games, hot and cold. He lived for her messages, for the online status, for her attention. A year passed, a year of pain, a year of hopes that always died. He gave 365 days, not to growth, not to friends, not to life. He poured it all into a void. When he woke up, it was terrifying, but it was also clear. This ends now. He deleted the chat, turned off notifications, hit the gym, took a course, started speaking with himself, not her shadow. Marcus Aurelius said, "You could be good today, but instead, you choose tomorrow." Story, prison and freedom. Nelson Mandela spent 27 years in prison. Some would say his life was stolen, but he'd say, "I used that time to build myself. I was free inside." A Stoic is not someone who feels nothing. A Stoic is someone who rules himself, even when the walls close in. 10 Stoic habits, how to respond to life. 1. Ask, is this within my control? If not, don't waste energy. 2. Cut screen time. Every hour on your phone is 1 hour less of life. 3. Ask every morning, what must I do today not to regret tonight? 4. Train your body. The mind lives in the body. Without movement, it weakens. 5. Remove toxic people. Being alone is better than being in rot. 6. Pray or meditate. A link to something higher makes you stronger. 7. Limit procrastination. Do the hard thing first. 8. Track your day. Memory lies, paper doesn't. 9. Act, don't react. Do what's right, not what you feel. 10. Remember, you've woken up to a truth most people never want to face. Your life is your responsibility. Your time, not theirs. Not your bosses, not your partners, not your families. Yours. You now know each second is a sacred flame, not to be thrown in the wind of distractions, of false hope, of fear. So what comes next? It's time to learn how to live like the fire is always burning, calmly, fiercely, and without regret. Seneca once said, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it." Why do we waste it? Because we're afraid, not just of failure, but of our responsibility, of owning the fact that we are the writers of our script, the architects of our destiny. It's easier to blame the world, the economy, our childhood, our partner, God, anything but ourselves. But the Stoic stands up and says, I may not control the winds, but I can adjust my sails. You fear action because you fear pain, but pain is a teacher. It sharpens the blade of the soul. It tells you this matters. So when you feel fear, move anyway. Reality check, social media plus entertainment addiction. Let's not lie to ourselves. You didn't just lose a minute, you lost years, hours, every day, staring into nothing, swiping, clicking, liking, numbing. And for what? A moment of pleasure? Compare that to building a body, reading wisdom, spending time with someone you love, deeply, in silence, without screens. Marcus Aurelius warned, don't waste what remains of your life in speculating about others. Scroll less, live more. Story, the friend who never started. You knew someone like this. He always had plans, always had dreams, music, a book, a business, but it was never the right time. I just need to wait until I feel ready. He waited for years, and the fire dimmed, and now he walks with a bitter smile, because the pain of trying is nothing compared to the pain of knowing you never even began. Biblical example, the parable of the talents. Jesus told a story. A master gives 3 servants talents, money to invest. 2 use them. They take risks. They grow what they're given. The third buries his in the ground. Afraid, he hides it and gives it back untouched. The master is furious. Why? Because we are meant to grow, to expand, to risk failure, and act anyway. Time is your talent. Are you multiplying it or burying it in fear? Story, the man who worked for retirement. He worked for 40 years, same office, same routine. Every year he said, once I retire, then I'll live. Then came retirement, but he had no idea who he was without work. No purpose, no fire, just TV, a garden, and slow decay. He thought freedom came later, but Stoicism says, freedom is in the now, in the choice to act, to speak, to build, not someday, today. 10 more Stoic habits, how to live fiercely. 1. Begin your day in silence. Don't start with noise, start with clarity. 2. Write down what you're avoiding. Face it head on. 3. Don't chase motivation. Chase discipline. 4. Forgive fast. Carrying anger is a waste of breath. 5. Be brutally honest with yourself. Lies slow you down. 6. Speak less. Do more. Let actions carry your words. 7. Use time blocks. Assign every hour a task. Own your calendar. 8. Take cold showers. Train your will to act under discomfort. 9. Remember, no one owes you anything. Life is a gift, not a debt. 10. Before sleep, review your day. What did I build? Who did I serve? Example, a tough conversation that needed to happen. You keep avoiding it, the talk with your partner or your boss, or that friend who betrayed you. Why? Because conflict is hard, but silence is poison. Stoicism doesn't mean emotionless. It means courageous. So you sit down, you say the truth, calmly, without attack, without apology, just truth. That's power. That's freedom. Historical example, Abraham Lincoln. He lost elections, was mocked, lived in depression, but he kept moving, one step, one word, one letter at a time. And when the nation collapsed into war, he didn't explode. He didn't break. He stayed steady, calm, deep, stoic. He wrote in silence, cried alone, but led with fire. You can too. You will die. That's not meant to scare you. It's meant to set you free, because the moment you accept your end, you begin to live. Epictetus said, I cannot escape death, but at least I can escape the fear of it. The clock is ticking, so dance, speak, create, love, building, not because you have time, but because you don't. Closing fire, the challenge. This is your call to rise, to begin again, not tomorrow. Now, delete the apps, have the talk, join the gym, take the class, apologize, forgive, move. You are not a victim. You are a soul on fire. Let them call you obsessed. Let them call you intense. Let them say, you've changed. Yes, you have. You've decided to live. Say it with me one more time. I'm with you, brothers.